Hello everyone and welcome to MJ's Maths and Stats. That's MJ Magic Studio to you. I'm Mohit Jain with top 30 arithmetic question asked in previous year's CAT examination, Z and other competitive examination. This is part 1 of top 30 arithmetic questions. We will be coming up with two more parts, part 2 and part 3, so that will account to top 100 arithmetic questions. The arithmetic topics which would be covering in these parts, in these videos, would be basically average, percentage, profit and loss, mixtures, interest, ratio, proportion, and obviously good questions on time and work and time, speed and distance. As said, mathematics is the art of giving the same name to different things, isn't it? So we will also try to see whether we can solve these questions in different methods, different ways or not. If you can come up with some other method which is better than what been showcased in this particular video, please mention that in the comment box. We'll try to incorporate that in our next videos. Okay, so first question is there on your screen and you know the drill. If A and B are integers of opposite sign, that means if I assume A to be greater than 0, B should be less than 0 or vice versa, such that A plus 3 whole square is to B square is 9:1, then if I have taken A positive and B negative, then I can say A plus 3 by minus B is equals to 3 by 1. What I am calculating is subduplicate ratio, square rooting on both sides. So the first equation we have is A plus 3 equals to minus 3B. Next, A minus 1 whole square is to B minus 1 whole square is 4:1. So A minus 1 by minus of B minus 1 equals 2 by 1. Again calculated subduplicate ratio. So now we have A minus 1 equals minus 2B minus minus plus plus 2. So we have A plus 2B is equals to 3. Now A plus 3 is minus 3B and A plus 2B is equals to 3. If we equate these two for A, we can easily get the value of 3. So minus 3B minus 3 equals 3 minus 2B. If I take this here, minus B equals to 6. That means B is equals to minus 6. Now let me use it in equation 1. So I'll have A plus 3 equals minus 3 into minus 6, that is 18. A is equals to 15. And it follows the condition which we have assumed. A is 15, which is positive, and B is minus 6, which is negative. Now what is the ratio? A is square by B square. That would be 15 is square by minus 6 whole square. 15 into 15 by 6 into 6, 3 5 times, 3 2 times, 3 5 times, 3 2 times. That will be 25 by 4. Therefore, A square is to B square is 25 is to 4. Option B fits in. I hope you must have paused the video and solved it. Let's see what should be the answer. 3x plus y is to xy is to 3x minus y. 7 is to 12 is to 1. Now here is a little gimmick. What we should be doing with x and y? Nothing. You just look at the corner numbers. It is 3x plus y and 3x minus y. We can use this only. 3x plus y upon 3x minus y is 7 by 1. As soon as we see this plus and minus sign, what we start doing is componendo and dividendo. That means if A by B is equals to C by D, we can write this as A plus B upon A minus B is equals to C plus D upon C minus D. That is the rule for componendo and dividendo, isn't it? So 3x plus y plus 3x minus y upon 3x plus y minus 3x plus y is 7 plus 1 upon 7 minus 1. Y cancel out from here, 3 from here. So we have 6x upon 2y equals 8 by 6. 2, 3 gone, 4, and this would be 3. Therefore, x upon y is 4 by 9. Now, they have asked us to find the value of x plus y upon x minus y. That means, again, we would be performing componendo and dividendo. So, x plus y upon x minus y would be 4 plus 9 upon 4 minus 9. 4 plus 9 is 13 and 4 minus 9 is minus 5. So answer should be minus 13 by 5. Is it there? Yes. Option B fits in. The income ratio of A and B is 7:4. Okay, we have A, B, and we have income of A and B. Ratio is 7:4. Let me mark it 7x and 4x. And expense ratio of A, B, C. Okay, we have one more gentleman. C is 8:6:5. Expenses ratio is 8y, 6y, and 5y. If C spends rupees 2000, spends means expenses. That means it is given that 5y is equals to 2000. Therefore, clearly y is equals to 2000 by 5. That is 400. Done. B saved 400. Now, what do we mean by savings? Savings would be income minus expenditure, isn't it? So, like B's savings is rupees 400. So, we can say 4x minus 6y is 400. 4x is 400 plus 6 into y. Now value of y is 400. So 400 into 6 is 2400 plus 400 is 2800. So from here we'll get the value of x. X is 2800 by 4, that is 700. Done. We have x common ratio for income, that is 700, and we have got y common ratio for expenses, that is 400. Now what is the question? Then find savings of A. So what is income of A? Income of A is 7 into 700, that is 4900, and expenses of A is 8 into 400, that is 3200. Therefore savings of A is 4900 minus 3200, that is 1700. Since we can see that this is theta type question, theta means type in the answer. You have to. So what we will type in is 1700 as the answer. Okay, it's time to solve this now. ABC entered into a partnership and invested money in the ratio which is given in fraction. 2 by 5 is to 3 by 4 is to 1 by 2. First thing, make this very clear. Ratio should not be in fraction. Try to convert this into numbers so that it be easy for us to solve it further. 2 by 5 is 40%. If I can write this as 40, yes I can. 3 by 4 is 75 and 1 by 2 is 50 in percentages. Now I have the perfect ratios, but stop. It can be further divisible by 5, isn't it? So we will have 8 is to 15 is to 10. So this is the ratio of investment of the amount by A, B and C initially. After 6 months, what happens? A increased his share by 25%. Now 25% means 1 by 4. So 1 by 4 of 8 is 2. That means A increased his share by 2 units. Now his share becomes 10 units. B decreased his share by 20%. 20% means 1 by 5. So 1 by 5 of 15 is 3. B have decreased his share. So now his new investment is 12 units. Mr. C increased his share by 50%. 50% means half. So half of 10 is 5. So now the new investment by Mr. C is 15 units. If the total profit at the end of 15 months, now what is the implication of 15 months here? Already this amount was invested for 6 months. That means this new amount is invested for 15 minus 6, that is 9 months. Since different amounts are invested at different point of time for different tenure, we need to find the weighted investment by these three people. So investment of A would be 8 into 6 plus 10 into 9, 48 plus 90, that is 138 units, weighted units. Investment of B would be 15 into 6 plus 12 into 9. 15 into 6 is 90, 12 into 9 is 108, that is 198. Weighted investment of C would be 10 into 6 plus 15 into 9, that is 60 plus 135 is 195. Now, if the total profit after 15 months is 35,400, then what is the A share? A share is 138 parts of all the three combined. So A's share would be 138 by, let's add them quickly, 8, 8, 16 and 5, 21, 2, 23, 2, 5, 531 by 531 into 35400. This is by 3, it would give us 46. By 3 will be 177. 177 200 times. So 46 into 200 is 9200. This is again a theta type question. So we will fill in 9200 as the answer. A share is rupees 9200. Raju and Gargi originally had marbles in the ratio 4:9. Let the common ratio be x, so they have 4x and 9x number of marbles. Then Gargi gave some of her marbles to Raju. Let her give y units to Raju. Then Raju will have now 4x plus y, and Gargi will have now 9x minus y. As a result, the ratio of the number of marbles with Raju to that with Gargi becomes 5:6. That means this ratio is now 5:6. That means 6 into 4x plus y equals 5 into 9x minus y. So we will have 24x plus 6y is 45x minus 5y. 11y is 21x. So x upon y is 11 by 21. So we have this ratio of x and y, that is 11:21. Let me take the common ratio k. So now x is 11k and y is 21k. What fraction of her original number of marbles, that is 9x, was given by Gargi to Raju? Okay, Gargi have given y marbles, y are 21k upon the original number of marbles. Original number of marbles are 9 into x. 9x would be 9 into 11k. that is 99k. So the fraction we are looking out for is 21 by 99. We can cancel out this with 3. 3 times 7, 21. 333 is 99. So fraction is 7 by 33. Option D. The scores of Arhit and Gargi in an examination are in the ratio 11:14. Score is 11x and 14x. After an appeal, their score increases by the same amount. Okay, suppose it increases by y. And the new scores are in the ratio 47:56. So 11x plus y upon 14x plus y is 47 by 56. That is 56 into 11. 616x plus 56y is 47 into 14. That would be 658x plus 47y. 56 minus 47 is 9y. 658 minus 616, 1642, 42x. So we have x equals 9y by 42. Okay. Or x is to y is 9 by 42. Let it be k. X is 9k and y is 42k. The ratio of Gargi's new score. Gargi's new score is 14x plus y to that of her original score. Original score is 14x. So this would be x is 9 units. 14 into 9 I can take, plus y is 42 units by 14 into 9 units. Now 42 is 14 into 3. I can take common 14. 9 plus 3 is 12. 14 into 9 cancel out with 3 4 times, with 3 3 times. So what we have is 4 by 3. So the required ratio is 4:3. Option A. The income of Gargi is 20% more than that of Tina. Okay, so income of Gargi and Tina. Gargi's income is 20% more than Tina, so this is 120 by 100, or we can say it's 6:5. And 20% less than that of Manna. G by M. With relation to Manna, Gargi's income is 20% less, so it should be 80 by 100. So that should be 4 by 5. If Manna's income goes down by 4%, okay, M goes down by 4%, and Tina's goes up by 10%, then the percentage by which Manna's income would exceed Tina. So in the question asked, we have just M and T. So can we have this ratio of M and T? Then we need to find the percentage by which Manna's income would exceed Tina. Let me calculate M by T. Can I write this as M by G into G by T? M by G is 5 by 4 and G by T is 6 by 5. So this ratio is actually 3:2. Now, Manna's income goes down by 4%. That means new Manna's income and new Tina's income is 3 into 96 I can write, because it goes down by 4%. That means only recovery is of 96%. Tina's income goes up by 10%. So I can say this is 2 into 110, isn't it? This will give us the new ratio or the new income ratio of Manna and Tina. So can we cancel this out? This is 48. Then 24 is 55. 24 into 3 is 72 by 55. Now the question, percentage by which Manna's income would exceed Tina. So the required percentage would be 72 minus 55 by, with respect to Tina, by 55. So 12, 7, 117 by 55 into 100%. This is what we are looking out for. 520, this would be 340 by 11, and if I calculate, this would be 333 and 10, that means 0.9, 30.9 to be more precise. But question asked is, then the percentage by which Manna's income would exceed Tina's income is nearest to 30.9%, nearest to 31%. Answer. I still believe that you people are following the drill. Please pause the video, do the sum by yourself, and then look out for the solution. Deepthi scores 40% in an examination. And after review, even though her score is increased by 50%, her score is increased by 50% of 40%, that means now her score is 60%. She fails by 35 marks. 60% means failing by 35 marks. If her post-review score, that is 60%, is increased by 20%, okay, so 20% of 60% would be 12%. If we increase her score by 12%, that is now her score is 72%, she will have 7 marks more than the passing score. This means this is plus 7. That means difference between these two, that is 12%, is equals to difference between these two, isn't it? 35 plus 7 is 42. 12% of the total marks is equals to 42 marks in numbers. So can we have 100% marks? The total marks of the paper are 42 by 12 into 100. 3, 4, 3, 14, 425, 25 into 14 would give us 350. So full marks are 350. Now what are the passing mark? Passing marks would be 60% of 350 plus 35, isn't it? So 6, 5, 33, 18, 210 plus 35 is 245 are the passing marks. Now the question, the percentage score needed for passing the examination is 245 by 350, that is 70%. Option B. Without pen pencil also you can solve these questions. This I have tried to do it in detail. Once you have the process, you can anytime solve these kind of questions without using pen or pencils. So do practice a bit so that you earn that confidence to solve these questions without using pen and paper. Let's move on. In a class, 60% of the students are girls. Therefore, boys should be 40% and the rest are boys, obviously. There are 30 more girls than boys. Percentage wise, it is 20% more. That means 20% of the total class strength is equivalent to 30. 100% is equivalent to 30 by 20 into 100, that is 150. So there are 150 students in the class. Girls, boys. Girls should be 60% of 150, that is 90. Boys 40%, that is 60. Total 150 students. 68% of the students. How much is 68% of 150? First of all. So that would be 52, 53, 234, 102. 68% of the student, that is 102 students, including 30 boys, pass the examination. Okay, so these people have passed the examination, 102, which includes 30 boys. So number of girls should be 102 minus 30, that is 72. So the percentage of girls who do not pass, only girls are 90 minus 72, that is 18. So what is the percentage of girls who do not pass? Percentage of girls who do not pass are 18 out of 90. So how many girls haven't passed as percentage? 18 by 90 into 100, that is 1 by 5, which is 20%. We can see that no options are given. It is in the theta format. We will type in 20. So here is the next question, and you know the drill. You must have paused the video and tried to solve. So let's see what it is. In an examination, the score of A was 10% less than that of B. That means A is to B should be, if B is 100, A should be 90. 10% less than B. The score of B was 25% more than C. More than C. So let me take C as 100, then B should be 125. And the score of C was 20% less than D. So if D is 100, C is 20% less than D, C should be 80. Now, if the score of A is 72, what is the score of D? We can see that we have this chain. So we need to find the combined average, isn't it? So this should be 9 is to 10, B is to C should be like, if I divide this by 25, 5 is to 4, and if I divide again this by 20, I'll get 4 is to 5. I just need the values for A and values for D. So values for A would be 954, 9 into 5 45, 45 91 80, and D would be 5 into 4 20, and 10 200. So actually the ratio of A is to D is 9 is to 10. So we have A by D is 9 by 10. If A is 72, how much is D? 9 8 times. Value of D should be 8 into 10, that is 80. Yes. Type in the answer, type in 80. The salaries of Ramesh, Ganesh and Rajesh were in the ratio of 6 is to 5 is to 7 in 2010. Okay, so that means salary would have been 6x, 5x, 7x. And in the ratio of 3 is to 4 is to 3 in 2015. So since ratio have changed, let me have this as 3y, 4y and 3y. If Ramesh's salary increased by 25% during this period, that means actually 3y should be equals to 6x into 1.25, isn't it? Then the percentage increase in Rajesh's salary during the period is closest to what? Let Rajesh's salary increased by p%, then we have 7x into 1 plus p by 100 would be equals to 3y. Okay, so with help of this, can I find the value of p here? I can see here is 3y, here is 3y, so let me equate it. 7x into 1 plus small p, which is equals to capital P by 100, equals 6x into 1.25. So 1 plus small p would be 6 into 1.25 by 7. That would be equals to the calculator value I have already calculated. That should be 1.07. So small p is 0.07. Capital P, the percentage change is 7%. It's very close to 7%. Yes, I have used calculator. You people should also be using it. No problem with that. Again, an examination condition. In an examination, Rama's score was 1/12 of the sum of scores of Mohan and Anjali. That means I can say 12 times Rama's score is equals to Mohan's scores plus Anjali's score. Okay. After a review, the score of each of them increased by 6. The revised scores of Anjali, Mohan and Rama is 11 is to 10 is to 3. So let it be 11y, 10y and 3y. I've taken y as common ratio. This is after the increase in the score by 6. Then Anjali's score exceeded Rama's score by how much? Then Anjali and Rama's score difference is what we are looking out for. So before the increase, the individual score should be 11y minus 6, 10y minus 6 and 3y minus 6, isn't it? Now 12 times Rama's score, that is 12 into 3y minus 6 was equals to 10y minus 6 Mohan's score plus 11y minus 6, that was Anjali's score. If we can solve this, we can find the value of y. So 36y minus 72 is 21y minus 12. So we have 15y equals 60, y is equals to 4. So Anjali's score is 11 into 4, that is 44. Mohan's score is 10 into 4, 40. We don't require that actually. And Rama's score is 3 into 4, 12. This was after increase. What would have been before increase? But do we really require that? Because increase is same, we can also find the answer here itself. What is the difference between Anjali's scores and Rama's score? 44 minus 12, that is 32. Option C fits in. So here we have Gargi. Gargi gets rupees 570 per hour of regular work and 1140 per hour of overtime, OT. Okay. She works altogether 172 hours. That means regular time plus OT time is equals to 172 hours. And her income from overtime hours is 15% of her income from regular hours. Then for how many hours did she work overtime? Regular income, overtime income. If I say regular income is 100, then overtime income is 15. Then what is the ratio between regular income and overtime income? It would be 20 is to 3. Fine. Now, if I take R as R and OT as OT, its total is 172. Then income from regular hours should be R into 570. And income from OT should be OT hours into 1140. And this ratio should be equals to 20 by 3. Isn't it? This is 2. That means R by OT is 40 by 3. Then how many hours of overtime she does? Overtime is 3 by 43 into 172. This goes 4 times. 3 into 4 is 12 hours. Bingo. This is TITA. Type in the answer. Answer should be 12 hours. Very interesting question on the screen. If the average of n consecutive natural numbers starting with A is 29. Okay, so we have like A plus 1, A plus 2 till term n. Average of these numbers is 29. Then the average of n natural numbers starting from 2A plus 29 would be what? Next number would be what? 2A plus 30 or 2A plus 31 and on. And again we have like n terms. Then what should be the average? See, I have seen people answering 0 to it because they often ask me, sir, what is the value of A? We don't have A. How we can determine that we can determine the sum of these numbers. There are n numbers, so sum of these numbers would be 29n. But what about this? We don't have this first initial value a with us. See, sometimes we need to go beyond what we know about averages. Let's me introduce you something with the help of equations and averages as far as measures of central tendency is concerned. So if two variables x and y are attached, like y equals to a plus bx, and if we are dealing with n such values where y1 equals a plus bx1, y2 equals a plus bx2, similarly yn equals a plus bxn, then y bar is equals to a plus bx bar. Now what do we mean by bar? Bar means mean. That means arithmetic mean of y is equals to constant a plus b times arithmetic mean of x. Now if we look carefully in our question, if I take this as a and this as b, what is b? b is 2 times a plus 29. Doesn't it look like this? Y equals to a plus bx. Can I say b bar, that is mean of series b, is equals to 2 times mean of a plus 29? Mean of a was given as 29. That is 2 into 29 plus 29. 3 into 29 is 87. Yes, the type in answer should be 87 and not 0. We will type in 87 and not 0, which I have seen many people answering. So this question can be answered whatever be the value of a. Believe me, whatever be the value of a, whatever be the value of n, if mean of first series is 29, then mean of the new series would be 87. 87 would be the answer. Consider a sequence of 7 consecutive integers. Okay, we have 7 numbers and those are consecutive. The average of first 5 integers is n. Then what is the average of all 7? Now, can we use the concept which we know about averages? The average of 5 consecutive numbers is n. So, the numbers should be what you know? N plus 1. Here we should have n minus 1. Then again n plus 2. And here we should have n minus 2. These should be the first 5 numbers if average is n. You know why? Because average of odd number is always the middle one. Now if these 5 numbers are consecutive, next 2 numbers should be n plus 3 and n plus 4. Isn't it? Now what is the average of all the 7 integers? Let's add them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, n. 2, 1 gone with plus 1 and plus 2. We have 3 plus 4, that is 7. So sum of all the 7 numbers are 7n plus 7. To find the average, we will divide this by 7. We will get n plus 1. Option B. You must have gone through the question, isn't it? A shipping clerk has 5 boxes of different but unknown weights, each weighing less than 100 kgs. The clerk weighs the box in pairs. The weights obtained are something which is known to us. What is the weight in kgs of the heaviest box? You know the history of this particular question. Sometimes ago it appears in one of the CAT examination. And since then, many different variants of this particular type of questions are now making rounds across all different mocks of different CAT or maybe like Z, SNAP, and everywhere you will see that each coaching center, each educational institution, everywhere you will find this kind of question in some variant or another. And each one have their own way of doing it. But let us try to solve this with the basics, so that if any variant of such question is asked, we are confident enough to solve these kind of question, isn't it? So we have 5 boxes of different but unknown weights. Let us take our 5 boxes to be A, B, C, D, E, and let me fix up like weight of A is less than B, is less than C, is less than D, is less than E. That means E is the heaviest and A is the lightest among these 5. Now, when they are being weighted in pairs, since we have 5 boxes, how many pairs we will have? 5C2, that is 10 pairs, and these 10 pairs values are known to us. So, what would be these pairs? These pairs would be AB, AC, AD, AE, then BC, BD, BE, CD, CE, and DE. So we have 10 such pairs. Now, can you identify which pair would be the lightest one? Obviously, the pair with the 2 lightest boxes, A and B. We have assumed that A is the lightest, B is the second lightest. So this pair A and B should give us the minimum weights as far as the pair weights is concerned, isn't it? So A plus B should be equals to 110. And the heaviest of the pair should be D and E. The 2 heaviest boxes are E, and then the second heaviest is D. So D plus E should give me the maximum value possible, that is 1, 2, 1. So I have these 2 with me. Now, if I add them up, all 10 pairs, that means I'm adding all these up. What would be the total of all these numbers if added up? I can see that all numbers are coming 4 times. That means total of all these should be 4 into A plus B plus C plus D plus E, isn't it? Let's quickly find the total of all these 10. And total of all these 10 is 1156. That means A, B, C, D, E is 1156 by 4. That is 289. Now A plus B plus D plus E is 231. Therefore weight of C, the middle one, should be 289 minus 231. That should be 8 and 5. 58. C is equals to 58. Okay, good. Now, what is 120? 120 should be the weight of the heaviest one and the third heaviest one. Pardon me with this. 120 should be the weight of D plus C, isn't it? 121 was D plus E. So 120 should be, it should be E plus C. 120 should be the weight of heaviest one and the third heaviest. So C plus E is 120. We have the value of C, isn't it? That is 58. That means E should be equals to 120 minus 58. That is 62. The heaviest weight should be 62. Yes, we have this answer, that is 62. But I want to invest more time in finding out the values of the others. Can we do that? Maybe like it would be of help if we encounter some other type of variants. Let's do it. So we have C equals to 58. We have we have E. E equals to 62. Now D plus E is 121. So D should be 121 minus 62. 11 minus 2 is 9. And then 11 minus 6 is 5. D should be 59. Okay. Now, do we have enough information to find the value of A and B? We just know that A plus B is 110. Okay. So now we need to use some trick here. 112 should be A plus C, isn't it? So C is 58. 112 minus 58. 12 minus 8 is 4. 10 minus 5 is 5. 54. So That should be the value of A. If I take A as 54, B should be 110 minus 54. That is again 56. So B is 56. Yes, we have the value of all the 5s, and you might check when you will be adding up this in pairs, you will get this sequence. So the process is simple. Add up all divided by 4, that will give us the weight of all 5. Done. The smallest weight should be of A plus B. The heaviest one would be of D plus E. With that, we can find the weight of the middle one. Now C plus E should be the second highest weight. With help of that, we can find E. And once we have E, we can calculate values of C and D. Now 112 should be the weight of A, the lightest one, and the C, the middle one. That will help us out in finding the value of A, and then we will have the value of B. Follow the process. Whatever variant it would be, we would be able to solve it. I hope this is clear with all. Let's take up the next question. Again, a very interesting question which was once asked in CAT and doing rounds this year with all mocks in different variants. So I thought of picking up this question also so that we can understand the gimmicks of this particular type of questions. From a set of 11 consecutive natural numbers whose average is A, then we have 11 numbers, all are consecutive. Its average is A. That means sum of all these 11 numbers should be 11A. Fine. One number is deleted. If I delete one number, I would be left with 10 numbers only. Okay, good. So the average of the remaining numbers can be what? These are the average of 10 numbers. So if I multiply these by 10, I will get the sum of 10 numbers. So that would be 10A plus 6, or 10A minus 3.5, or 10A plus 2, or 10A minus 2.5. So these are the options available with me. Now, look at one thing. So instead of 11 numbers, suppose we have 5 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is the average of these 5? Average of these 5 is 3. So sum is 3 into 5, that is 15. Now if I delete, suppose the smallest of the number from here, 1, I would be left with total what? 15 minus 1 is 14. And then 14 by 4 would be how much? 14 by 4 would be 7 by 2, that is 3.5. Great. Initially my average was 3. Now my average is 3.5. Done. Now from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if I ask you to delete the largest of the number, that is 5, we would be left with 4 plus 3, 7, and 3, 10. 10 by 4 is 2.5. You know what? This is true and applicable for any consecutive numbers. That we have n consecutive numbers, and if we delete one number from it, our average should lie between this plus minus 0.5 range. That means in this case also, if I delete one number, my average should lie between A minus 0.5 to A plus 0.5. That means the average of these 10 number should be 10A minus 5 to 10A plus 5. 10A plus 6 doesn't lie in this range. 10A minus 3.5, 10A plus 2, 10A minus 2.5 all lies in this range. But since we are here with 10 numbers, one thing also make this clear, that total would be 10A minus 5 or 10A minus 4 or 10A minus 3 or 10A minus 2, but total can never be in decimal as it is given in option B and option D. Isn't it? Why? Because all these 11 numbers are natural numbers, no fraction numbers being included. Average cannot be A minus 0.35 or A minus 0.25. it can be A plus 0.2. And airlines increase the price of the air tickets by 30% to compensate for the increase in airport charges. Okay. Due to increase in cost of fuel, the airline had to increase further the price of tickets by 20%. Okay. Again, due to low turbine fuel cost, the airline decreased the price of air tickets by 10%. Oh, what a relief, isn't it? So we have 3 price changes. By what percentage the ticket price went up as a result of 2 price hikes and 1 price slash by the airline? See, we have 2 methods. Either I can use calculator directly, and I'll show you how to do that without actually using pen or paper. Or if you have no access to calculator in any of the examination, if you are appearing, you have no access to calculator, then how we can use our net change rule, that is rule 3, and quickly calculate this value. So let's see in the calculator without pen and paper how we can solve this. I'll start with the initial price 100. Now first price is increased by 37. So first price increase is by 30%, multiply it by 1.3. Next price is increased by 20%, multiply this by 1.2. Next is down by 10%, so recovery rate is 90%, multiply it by 0.9. What we'll get is 140.4. Subtract the initial price 100 which we have taken. What we have is 40.4. Yes, 40.4 is the net increase in the price. That's it, with help of calculator without pen and paper. But if we have no access to calculating devices calculator, then we can use our net change formula. If there are 3 changes x, y and z, then net change is given by x plus y plus z plus xy by 100 plus yz by 100 plus xz by 100 plus xyz by 100 square with respective signs. Now what do I mean by with respective signs? That x is plus 30 plus sign, y is plus 20, z is minus 10. Now let's plug in the values and you will see we'll again get back to 40.4. Let's see how. So delta would be equals to 30 plus 20 is 50 minus 10 is 40. xy 30 into 20 by 100 is plus 6. yz 20 into minus 10 by 100 is minus 2. xz 30 into minus 10 by 100 is minus 3. Now xyz 30 into 20 into minus 10 will give us a minus sign. 3 into 2 into 1 is 6 by 10, 0.6. 46 minus 5 is 41. Minus 0.6 is 40.40. Net change is 40.40 as percentage. Option B fits in. In a college, the number of students decreased by 8%. Students. And the price of a rim of paper increased by 20% over the previous year. Price for a rim of paper. By how much should the uses of the rims of paper be cut short by each student such that the total money spent on the rims of the papers remain the same as the previous year? If I say let they cut it down by X%, what is the formula of expenses? Expenses means number of students into number of rims per student into price of rim, isn't it? So this is multiplicative effect. Expenses is multiplicative effect of these three. And as we have seen in the previous question, multiplicative effect on all three should give us the net change. Now they are saying that total money spent on the rims of paper remain the same as the previous one. That means total expenses are not changing. That means delta is 0. Delta is 0. We can use x plus y plus z plus xy by 100 plus yz by 100 plus zx by 100 plus xyz by 100 is square. So let me take x as minus 8, y as plus 20, and this x percent, let me make this minus z. So I am looking out for the value of z such that this net change is 0. Okay, so 0 equals minus 8 plus 20 minus z. X into y would be minus 20 into 8 is 160. That would be minus 1.6. Okay, yz would be minus 20z by 100. Zx would be minus minus plus 8x by 100. And then minus into minus plus plus, that would be 160z by 100 into 100. Okay, so let's calculate. 20 minus 8 is 12. 12 minus 1.6 is 10.4, isn't it? So that would be 0 equals to 10.4. Now, why I have written x? It should be z na. Zx, it should be z. Okay, so we have 1.6 by 100, 8 by 100, and then 20 by 100. So if by 100 I am considering minus z, by 100 it would be minus 20 plus 8 plus 1.6. So 28 and 1.6 is 9.6 minus 20 plus 9.6 will give us what? Minus 10.4 again. Okay, and this is also z. Minus 10.4 divided by 100 would be minus 0.104 z minus z plus 1. So I can say 1.104 z is equals to 10.4. That means z equals to 10.4 by 1.104. And the calculator value of 10.4 by 1.104 would be 9.4 near about. Let's see it. Let me have this calculator here. What we require is 10.4 divided by 1.104, that is 9.42. Okay, so if it is theta, it is 9.42. So this was with help of the net change formula we know. I've seen people taking, let we have 100 student, now it become 92, let price was 10, now it become 12. Why to use complication? Now you may ask, sir, this was also complicated. Yes, but I'll show you something. If calculator is allowed, can you solve this with calculator in 3-4 seconds? Let me show you how we can do it in 4 to 5 seconds with help of calculator, if it is allowed. Okay, let me clear this up. We start with 100. First percentage decrease is 8%. That means my recovery rate is only 92% into 0.92. I'm with 92 now. Price increases by 20%. That means I'll multiply this by 1.2. What I have is 110.4. Now from 110.4, I want to go back to 100, isn't it? I've started with expenses as 100. Now I want to go back to 100. So if I want to go back to 100, I need to subtract 100 from it, minus 100. That's 10.4. So how much is 10.4 as a percentage of our previous figure, which is being displayed here? 110.4. Divide this by 110.4 into 100 will give us the next percentage change. That is 9.42. 4 seconds. 9.42% should be the change in the third part, that is the uses, so that the net change in expenses remain unchanged. Use calculator, but practice that with calculator. If you don't have calculator, you need to use this net change formula only. Now you may ask, sir, at the end you were using calculator. See, this also you can calculate without use of calculator. Convert this into fraction and then solve. But many a time, if this is a theta type question, I think calculating devices would be there with you. If not, options would be there. And then by looking at the options, you may select that which one fits in. If I write 0, 0 and remove this, I'm looking out for what? 10400 by 1104. Okay, 1104 into 10 is 11040, which is less than 10, and into 9 is 9936, which is greater than 9. So it is quite evident that answer lies between 9 to 10%. Then choose the option wisely. I hope this makes sense to all of us. Let's move on and take another question. The average of 30 integers is 5. First thing first, average of 30 numbers is 5. That means the total should be 150. Yes? Among these 30 integers, there are exactly 20 which do not exceed 5. So we have 20 of them, and these values are less than 5. Or maybe equals to 5, but not greater than 5. What is the highest possible value of the average of these 20 integers? I want to maximize these numbers total. That means for the remaining 10, I need to minimize them. And all these are integers. So the smallest value which I can assign to these 10 is 6, isn't it? So the smallest total these 10 people can have, these 10 integers can have, is 10 into 6, that is 60. If all are same, and we need to minimize it. So the maximum total which can be of these 20 people is 150 minus 60, that is 90. So highest possible average of these 20 people is 90 by 20, that is 4.5. Option C fits in. This is a very interesting question, believe me. A perfect blend of how we can use Rule 6 and what averages are made of actually. 3 classes X, Y, Z take an arithmetic test. The average score of X, Y, Z are 83, 76 and 85 respectively. The average score of all students of X and Y taken together, X and Y taken together, is 79, and Y and Z taken together is 81. What is the average of all the 3 classes? Now first thing first, I need to know about the number of people in XYZ. If not the exact number, at least I should have the ratio of number of people who are in X, Y and Z. Average of 83 and 76 is 79. I can use my cross diagram, butterfly diagram. 79 minus 76 is 3. 89 minus 79 is 4. So the ratio of X is to Y should be 3 is to 4. Isn't it? Again, with Y and Z, if I am using my butterfly diagram, 85 minus 81 is 4. 81 minus 76 is 5. So y is to z is 4 is to 5. That means x is to y is to z is 3 is to 4 is to 5. Number of students in these classes are 3 is to 4 is to 5. So what should be the average score? Average score should be 83 into 3 plus 76 into 4 plus 85 into 5. Let me do this. This is 249, 304, 425 should add up to 798. Divided by the weights. Weights is 5 plus 4 plus 3, that is 12. So average of the three class combined together should be 978 by 12. That is 81.5. Very interesting question. Do practice these kind of questions. A college has raised 75% of the amount it needs for a new building by receiving an average donation of rupees 600 from the people already solicited. The people already solicited represent 60% of the people the college will ask for donation. Let that be 100. So 60% would be 60. Great. If the college is to raise exactly the amount needed for the new building, what should be the average donation from the remaining people to be solicited? We started with 100 people they are looking out for. Already 60 of them have given donation. Now 60 of them has given how much? 63,000 units. And that represents 75% of the total amount they are looking out for. That means 36,000 is 75%. That is 3/4 of the total amount. Fine. Then how much is the leftover? Leftover is 1/4. If 3/4 is if 3/4 is 36,000, they still require 1/4. That would be 36,000 into 4 by 3 into 1 by 4, isn't it? That would be 12,000. They need 12,000 more rupees. From how many members? We started with 100 members. 60 have already contributed. So we are left with 40 members. So the average we are looking out for is 12,000 by 40. That is 300. What should be the average donation from the remaining people? From the remaining 40, average donation should come to 300. Option A should fit in. 20 friends decided to collect a certain amount to go on a 5 days trip. But after some times, 5 more friends joins in, which increase the expenses by rupees 100 per day, while the average expenditure per day was decreased by rupees 12. Find the average amount they decided to collect initially. Okay, how many different kind of variables been put in together into this, isn't it? So let's start by everyone decided to collect maybe A first. What is the average amount they decided to collect initially? Is rupees A per head. That is for 5 days. Okay, so total amount that they have decided initially would have been 20 A for 5 days. Now 5 more people just turned in, and due to it, the overall expenses increased by rupees 100 per day. So if I add 100 per day to this should be equals to new expenses, isn't it? This is new expenses. This one is old expenses. While the average expenditure per day was decreased by rupees 12. Initially it was 20 A, so average expenses per day were 20A by 5. Correct? Now average expenses per day are 20A plus 500 by 5. So initially average expenses per day were 4A. Now it is 4A plus 100. Fine. This is per person. This is average per person. Fine. So how many people are there? 20. So average per day we need to find. So finally it would be 4A by 20, and this would be 4A plus 100 by 25. Now it has been fallen by 12. That means A by 5 plus 12. It has been fallen, na? So this should be 12 more. So A plus 5 minus 12 should be equals to 4A by 25 plus 4. So if I multiply this by 5, 5A by 25 minus 4A by 25 is 4 plus 12, that is 16. So we have A by 25 is 16, which gives us what? A equals to 25 into 16, that is 400. What we are looking out for? Find the average amount they decided to collect initially per head. They decided to collect initially rupees 400 from each one of them. Yes, we can have the quick check. That is what you are looking out for, isn't it? 400 into 20 will give us what? 8,000. 8,000 was their plan to collect. Now, due to 5 more comes in, their expenditure increases to 8,500. So initially, what was the average per day? 8,000 divided by 20 into 5, that is 80. Now average per day is 8,500 by 25 into 5. Okay, so 25, 4 into 8, 32 and 2, 34. 340. 340 by 5 would be 68. So initially average was 80, now it is 68. It has dropped down by 12. Bingo. Option A fits in. When 1 liter of water is added to a solution containing milk and water. Okay. So we have milk and we have water already in the solution. And we are adding 1 liter to it. The resulting solution has 20% milk. Okay, after adding, once I have added 1 liter of what? Water, the resulting solution will have 20% milk. Now, what do you mean by 20% milk? That means 80% would be water. This ratio would be like 1:4, or I can say if there is 5 liter capacity, 1 liter should be milk and 4 liters should be water. Okay. If 1 liter of milk is then added to the solution, okay, now this time we are adding 1 liter of milk. 1/3 of the resulting mixture would be milk. Okay, now what we have? Milk would be 1/3 and water would be 2/3. That means now the ratio will become 1:2. The concentration of milk in the initial solution is what? If I block my data here with 1 and 4 liters, that is, suppose it is 5 liters, and now I am adding up 1 liter, that means this total should be 6 liter. Then if I divide this 6 liter in the ratio of 1:2, then 1/3 of 6 will give me 2 liters and 2/3 of 6 will give me 4 liters. Bingo, it is matching up with this. That means I can go back. 1, 4, fine, I can take it, this is 5 liter, plus 1 gives me 2 and 4. Now what I did here was, we have added 1 liter water, that means in initial solution, we have 4 minus 1, that is 3 liters of water, and milk remains same at 1 liter. and the total volume was obviously 5 minus 1, that is 4 liters. Bingo. What is the question? The concentration of milk in the initial solution. In the initial solution, milk was 1 liter and the total volume of the solution was 4 liters. So how much it is? 1/4 is 25%. Playing with numbers works, believe me. Two solution, one having salt and water in the ratio 3:7. We have salt and we have water in the ratio of 3:7. And other having sugar and water in the ratio 3:1. Sugar and water in the ratio 3:1 are mixed in the ratio 15:8. I have taken 15 parts of this, okay, and 8 parts of this. Find the ratio of salt and sugar in the final solution. We just can do it straight away, isn't it? Salt would be 3/10 of 15th part, that would be 4.5 units, and sugar would be 3/4 from here, 3/4 of 8 parts, that would be 6 units, isn't it? And we are looking out for salt by sugar ratio, 4.5 by 6, 1.5 3 times, 1.5 4 times. Required ratio is 3:4. Option B fits in. A milkman promises to sell the milk at cost. Wow. Professing to be selling at cost. Price. But he mixes some water with milk and also uses a false weight of 800 ml instead of a liter. If overall he earns 40% profit, his actual profit is 40%. If its actual profit is 40% and false weight is 800 ml, true weight is 1000 ml, then we know that how to calculate the professed profit, isn't it? False weight by true weight equals 100 plus professed profit upon 100 plus actual profit. Let's solve this. This is equals to 800 by 1000, that is 4 by 5. 500 plus 5p equals 440 into 4. 400 and 160, 560. So 5p is 60, where p equals to 12%. That means his actual professed profit should be 12%. But here he was professing to be selling at cost. That means he was mixing some water with the milk, isn't it? Let me have the entire detailed process first. We have milk, we have water, okay, and this is being sold at 12% profit actually. Suppose the cost price of milk is 10 and water is available freely. What is the selling price of mixture according to him? Selling price of mixture is 10, because he is selling the mixture at cost after mixing the water in it, isn't it? So we know that how to find the cost price of mixture. Cost price of mixture is 10 into 100 upon 100 plus p, that is 12. That would be 1000 by 112. Let me make this 500 by 56 or 250 by 28 or 125 by 14. You would be better at calculation than me, I know. So 125 by 14. When I cancel this, it would be 140 minus 125 is 15 by 14, and that comes to 125 by 14. Cancel out 5 3 times 5 25 times. So the ratio of milk and water is actually 25 is to 3. What is the question? What percent water is mixed in 1 liter of milk? In 25 liters we have like 3 liters of water. So we are looking out for 1 liter. So how much is 3 by 25 as percentage? That comes to 12%. That was the detailed concept regarding this. But you know what? Once we have this profit, we know the theorem if you want to devise it as a theorem. And what is that? That the ratio in which water should be mixed with milk, okay, so that the seller gains P% by selling the mixture at cost is P is to 100. Is actually P is to 100. So this is 12 by 100, 12%. Here itself we have the answer. What percent water he mixed with 1 liter of milk? It is 12%. But I've shown you the entire process that how to be done. But the theorem is very simple. Let me call that out once again. The ratio in which water should be mixed with milk so as to make a profit of P% by selling the mixture at cost is simply P by 100. Suppose I want to make a profit of 25%. So 25 by 100 is how much? 1 by 4. So the ratio would be 1 is to 4. I want to make profit of 12%. Then what should be the ratio of water and milk there in the mixture so that I can gain 12% by selling the mixture of cost is 12 by 100. And you can see it comes to 3 by 25. Isn't it? That's we calculated 25 is to 3 in case of milk and water. So answer was here itself, but this was the entire calculation to show you the proof of the theorem. Let's take up next one. As a sales gimmick, a cloth merchant began measuring the cloth with a yardstick that was X inches longer. Okay, because of which his profit reduces from 50% to his cost to 20% of his cost. Initially he was having profit of 50%. Now because of this gimmick of selling more, his profit have reduced to 20% only. Find the value of X. It's known that 1 yard is equals to 36 inches. There are 36 inches on a yardstick. Let me revise this rule first. Rule 4 of our rule book, debt rule. If CP of A objects is P1 and SP of B object is P2, then profit or loss percent is simply principal diagonal AP2 minus secondary diagonal BP1 by secondary diagonal BP1 into 100. I would be using the same rule, but the main exercise is how quickly we can set up these things in this rule. So let's learn that thing. Okay, so what's happening today? Today what happened that I'm selling 36 plus X inches of clothes with help of a yardstick. Okay, let me assume that cost of 1 inch is 1 rupee. So these are units. So what would be the cost of 3x plus x inches? That would be 3x plus x rupees. Done. Now how much is being sold? Sold is 3x. Now how much is being sold? Sold is 36 plus x. At what rate I am selling? Now please look here. I am not charging the consumer, I'm not charging the customer for 36 plus x inches, isn't it? I'm just charging them for 36 inches. And what was the cost price of 36 inches? 36. And what was the selling price of 36 inches? Selling price of 36 inches was 36 rupees into 1.5. Got it? Why? Because initially I was selling those 36 inches at 50% profit. That's it. Our setup done. Now, if we use this particular formula here, since these two values are same, I can find the ratio of these two, that is 1 1. Now it's easy to calculate. Principal diagonal, 36 into 1.5 would be 54, minus secondary diagonal, 36 minus x, upon secondary diagonal, 36 plus x, into 100 is equals to the new profit. The new profit is 20%. So let me have this as 5. So what we'll have? 54 into 5 minus 36 into 5. 54 minus 36 is 18 into 5, 90, minus 5x equals 36 plus x. So we have 6x equal 54. X equals 54 by 6, that is 9. Yes, value of x is, again I'm writing here, please have a look. X is 54 by 6, that is 9 inches. Since no options are given, we need to type in the answer, type in 9. Fine. I hope you will practice more on rule 4. All videos are available on our playlist, the rule book. Go through it, and the link would be there in the description. Please go through it to dwell deeper into the concepts of rule 4 and how we can use it. Let's move on. During a grand feast at the royal palace, a thief stole 20 liters of wine from a drum full of wine. We have a drum full of wine, and he takes out 20 liters from it and replaces it with the same quantity of water. Wow. And replaces with 20 liters of water. He repeated the same process 2 more times. That means once, twice, thrice. He have done this process 3 times. Every time he is taking out 20 liters from the jar, from this big jar, and adding 20 liters of water. The ratio of wine to water in the drum, wine to water in the drum now is 512 is to 217. What was the initial amount of wine in the drum? Okay. We should know the drill for replacement of mixtures. In case of replacement of mixtures, suppose our initial is E liters of a drum which contains liquid A full with it, and with the help of a small container C I've taken out A from it, and if C volume of liquid B is added to it every time, and if this entire process is repeated n times. Now what is the process? Taking out C liters from E and then adding C liters of liquid B to A. What will happen eventually? Eventually the proportion of liquid A will start decreasing, isn't it? And proportion of liquid B will increase. So for that we have a small formula which we can use it here. And what's that? Proportion of liquid A left by proportion of liquid A in the beginning equals 1 minus C by E to the power n. The liquid which is being replaced will never form part in this given formula. Now here what we have, liquid A is wine. So proportion of liquid A left, what is the proportion of wine left? It is 512 by 512 plus 217, it would be 729 divided by proportion of liquid A, that is wine in the beginning, since the initial wine in the jar was actually wine. Okay, so initially it was only wine in the jar, so proportion of wine in wine is how much? 1 equals 1 minus C, the small container size is 20 liters, E is the big container size which we are looking out for, and N is number of time this process has been repeated, that is 3. Now taking cube root on both sides, 512 is 8 cube and 729 is 9 cube is equals to 1 minus 20 by E. So if I take 20 by E here, 1 minus 8 by 9 would be 1 by 9. So that will give me what? E equals to 180 liters. What was the initial amount of wine in the drum? 180 liters. Stick to the replacement of mixtures, and this is not it. This is just type 1 of replacement of mixture. To watch more types on replacement of mixture, we have video on it. I shall again request you people to go and properly watch that video to dwell deeper into these concepts, which will come very handy while solving these questions. By selling X pens, a shopkeeper loses the selling price of Y pen. Let selling price of one pen is rupee 1 if I take. Then selling price of Y pens would be rupee Y. Okay. So when I'm selling X pen, how many pens I am selling? I am selling X pens. So what should be the selling price of X pens? Selling price of X pens should be X, because I have taken that selling price of one pen is rupee 1. Now, can you tell me what would be the cost price of X pen? Cost price is always selling price minus profit, isn't it? So cost price of X pen would be selling price of X pens, that is X, okay, minus profit. But here, what is the profit? Profit is losing price of X pens. Losing price of Y pen is how much? Minus Y. So CP is X plus Y. I hope this thing is clear. Pause the video, rewind it again, and try to listen to it carefully. I'm doing it once again. What is assumed that selling price of one pen is rupee 1. So if X pens are sold, selling price would be rupees X. Then what would be the cost price of X pens? Cost price of X pens would be SP minus profit or SP plus loss, if those been sold in loss. And what is the loss? Loss is selling price of Y pen. Selling price of Y pens is rupees Y. That means cost price of X pens is X plus Y. Welcome to rule 4 once again. If the shopkeeper had less than 100 pens, okay, and his loss percentage was 15% overall, which we'll calculate, then the number of values of X which it can take. Let's use our rule 4, and according to rule 4, the profit or the loss calculated would be principal diagonal is X square. Oh, let me make this more easier for you for calculation. Since these X are same, I can reduce it to 1:1 format. So 1 into X is X, then minus X minus Y upon X plus Y into 100 is equals to 15. 15% is the loss. We have written 15. No need to put a minus sign because we will get a minus sign here. X cancel out. So now what we have? Minus Y by X plus Y equals 15 by 100. That is 3 by 20. Okay, and since it is a loss, I can remove this minus sign again. No problem with that. What we are looking out for? We are looking out for how many values of X and Y are possible. The ratio of Y upon X plus Y should be 3 by 20. So if I straight away take y equals to 3, can I say x equals to 17? Yes, bingo. Let's multiply this by 2. We will have 6 by 40. Y is equals to 6, then x is equals to 34. You will see it growing. 317, and then it would be 6, then 40 minus 6 is how much? 34. If I take y equals to 9, then it would be multiplying by 3. 3 into 3 is 9, 20 into 3 is 60. 60 minus 9, yes, 51. Again grown by 17. Now 9 will become 12. It will again grow by 17, and it would be 68. Isn't it? So we have 3, 6, 9, 12. Yes, we can have one more value. If y is 15, it will again grow by 17. That is 85. If I take y equals to 18, it will again grow by 17, but then x value would be greater than 100. So explain to you in a very layman term the way which we can think. Or once we have the ratio, we can also think in the manner it will be growing. If it is 320, it will be always multiplicative form, and it would be growing. We can see 3 doubles, 17 doubles, 3 triples, 17 triples, 3 4 times, 17 4 times, 3 5 times, 17 5 times. Then the number of values that x can take is 5. X can take 17, 34, 51, 68 and 85, and we have also calculated the corresponding values of y in that case. So if by selling 17 pens, a shopkeeper loses selling price of 3 pens. So let's pick up one example. Selling price and cost price. We have fixed up selling price to be rupee 1. By selling 17 pens, I have got 17 rupees as return. What is the cost price? Cost price would be 17 plus 3, that is 20. If I make this 1 1, what would be the loss? 17 minus 20 by 20, that is minus 3 by 20. Isn't it equals to 15% loss? Yes, bingo. Put up all the values, you will get 15%. Answer 5 fits in. Oh, I'm feeling hungry now. At a certain fast food restaurant, B can buy 3 burgers and 7 shakes and 1 order of fries for rupees 120 exactly. At the same place, it would cost rupees 164.50 for 4 burgers, 10 milkshakes and 1 order of fries. Very good. How much would it cost for an ordinary meal of 1 burger plus 1 milkshake and 1 order of fries? That means we are looking out for the value of B plus S plus F, BFS. BSF. What, or whether we would be able to calculate this or not. Let's try to eliminate F first. If I subtract these two, I'll get B plus 10 minus 7 is 3S. FF cancel out, would be 44.50. Okay, this is after subtraction, isn't it? Now, can I add them up? Let me add them up. If I add them up, I'll have what? I need F. I need B. There is 3S already. If I deduct these two, let me cancel from this. Let me deduct this. I'll have 2B plus 3B minus B is 2B. 7S minus 4, 3S is 4S plus F equals 120 minus 44.50. 120, 20 gone, 24.50. So it would be 75.50. Bingo. We have 2 burgers, 4S plus F for 75.50, and again I'll subtract this. Yes, 2b minus b is b, 4s minus 3s is s, and we have f, so it would be 75.50 minus 44.50. That will give me 31. Bingo. B plus S plus F is rupees 31. Yes, I've seen many of you marking this can't be determined. Don't do that. Let's move on. Thank you everyone for participating. This was the part 1 of our 100 question series. Stay connected with us. I'm Mohit Jain, signing off from MJ's Maths and Stats. That's MJ Magic Studio to you. I'll see you soon. Thank you.